We've already seen that the market for the fossil fuel industry is decreasing for things like electricity generation and vehicles. Now we're seeing oil and gas companies projecting that they'll make up for lost profits by producing more plastics. The use of plastics has skyrocketed over the last 70 years.
I just want to say one word to you. Just one word.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening?
Yes, I am.
Plastics.
Exactly how do you mean?
There's a great future in plastics. Think about it.
And if the current trajectory continues, emissions from plastics will outpace emissions from coal by 2030. The amount of plastic we produce in a year is roughly equivalent to the entire weight of the human population. And billions of plastic items that are created are used for only a few moments in a single day. The problem with plastic recycling is that it doesn't really happen. Of all of the plastics ever made, some is currently in use. Of the plastic not in active use, only 9% has actually been recycled. Some has been burned. The vast majority, though, has been sent to landfills, creating more global warming pollution. Or it's strewn across our landscapes, floating in rivers and drifting into the oceans. So does recycling solve our problem with plastics? No, it most definitely doesn't. In 2020, an investigation by National Public Radio and Frontline uncovered documents showing top oil and gas officials knew that recycling plastic was unlikely to work. Here's a clip from their investigation in the documentary Plastic Wars.
One internal document from the Society of the Plastics Industry cautioned, "The techniques of cleaning and separating the mixed plastics has not been developed for large-scale economic application." Another said, "There are no effective market mechanisms for mixed plastic." And this document was candid. There is serious doubt widespread plastic recycling can ever be made viable on an economic basis.
And yet, they spent tens of millions of dollars telling the public the opposite, promoting the benefits of plastic recycling and shifting the responsibility to consumers. You know, like this commercial that aired on television on Earth Day in 1971.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country, and some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
In other words, the problem is you. More recently, in 2022, California's Attorney General opened an investigation into the possible role oil and gas companies played manipulating the public to buy more plastics. For more than half a century, the plastics industry has engaged in an aggressive campaign to deceive the public, perpetuating a myth that recycling can solve the plastics crisis, the Attorney General said. The truth is, the vast majority of plastic cannot be recycled. They certainly fooled me, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone. Companies slap that recycling symbol on products, and most of us believe that if we put those products in our curbside recycling, they'll be recycled. The problem is that even though plastics may have a symbol to indicate that they can technically be recycled, it doesn't mean that the facilities or capabilities exist in most local communities to actually recycle them. Here's that National Public Radio and Frontline investigation again.
Okay, so this is classic when a lot of Americans do this. Look what you're doing right now.
Yep,
we
that's
flip
right.
it over.
Yep.
What are we looking at?
At the bottom of all of these plastic containers is this little chasing arrow, the little recycling symbol with a number. And the number, there's some words, it says 1 PETE. This package here is technically recyclable. You could recycle this in a lab.
Okay.
But it's not economical to recycle it given the current economics of recycling.
But if it's not happening in Oregon, it makes me wonder what's going on in the rest of the country.
Yeah, I would say that this package is rarely recycled in most parts in the country.
We might see that our city collects plastics, but what we can't check on is whether those plastic items go from the facility to a landfill, are incinerated, or are exported, rather than being recycled. Yeah, I said exported. Like me, you may have had no idea that for many years we shipped a huge portion of our trash and plastics to China. For quite some time, China accepted 70% of the world's plastic waste. That is, until they didn't. In 2018, they announced a ban on imported plastic waste. That decision sent much of the world scrambling. In the United States, some recycling collection programs stopped altogether. Others restricted the materials they'd accept. And still others diverted recyclables to landfills or incinerated them. It also led many Western countries to look for and find new countries to take their plastic waste. Who did they find? Mostly developing countries, already drowning in plastic themselves. So one concrete thing we can do is work to ditch single-use plastics. I won't lie, when you start noticing how much plastic we use, you start to notice how much plastic we use. Rather than get overwhelmed, here are 5 doable plastic swaps that you can begin to make in your own life. Swap number 1, plastic straws. They suck, literally and figuratively. For the love of a sea turtle, you can do this. In the United States, we use and discard 500 million of them a day. If you want a picture of that, imagine 46,400 yellow school buses filled with straws every day of the week. Plastic straws are also consistently among the top 10 items collected at beach cleanups, along with a lot of other plastic items. So drink without a straw, or if you need a straw, use a metal or paper one. Swap number 2, plastic cutlery. Next time, tell them you don't want the plastic utensils in your takeout. Use real cutlery at your next party, or bring along your own set. Listen, it's not as crazy as it sounds. I've scattered these little sets of metal straws and bamboo cutlery everywhere, in the glove compartment, the middle console of my car, in my purse, so that I'm likely to have them when I need them, and I can pull them out for family and friends. Touchdown! Swap number 3, grocery and produce bags. Come on, you can definitely do this one too. If you can carry what you buy out of the store, refuse a bag. You know, like this guy.
Cash your card.
Card, please.
Would you like your receipt?
Oh, no, thank you. See you later.
Or maybe take your own bags to the store or grocery. I also scatter these bags in my car and purse. To me, the key is to keep them in your car. You learn that after several times of walking into the grocery store and realizing you don't have them. Ugh. Swap number 4, coffee cups and lids and those little plugger things. Let's be clear, this is not about cutting coffee. I'm not a martyr, y'all. I'm just saying, make coffee at home as often as you can and invest in a good travel coffee mug to take it on the go. The Zojirushi is my very favorite. It keeps coffee so hot, it will burn your mouth 24 hours later. Did you know that you can also give your travel mug to Starbucks and they'll fill it instead of giving you their cup?
I'll have a Trenta no foam 5-shot half cap, no foam, pumpkin spice latte with no foam at 210 degrees.
The first time that I asked them to fill my travel mug from home, I did it nervously. You know, didn't want to be the crazy sustainability lady. But you know what? They didn't bat an eye. People do it all the time. If you still must have your Starbucks and don't have a travel mug yet, come on, at least skip the pluggy thing. Swap number 5, water bottles. Swap them for a reusable stainless steel bottle instead. Come on. You can do that. I love my Lumos water bottle and have had it for years. It comes with me almost everywhere I go, and it's allowed me to give up plastic water bottles almost entirely. There are also a whole bunch of companies now making aluminum water bottles that can be easily recycled. Jason Momoa is the founder of one of those companies, Mananalu.
We gotta save our oceans, we gotta save our landfills. Aluminum's the answer. Just water, but I feel good about it.
I feel good about it too. I'd buy just about anything that man sells. That the bottle is sustainable is a great bonus as well. You can buy it at places like Whole Foods and Sprouts, or you can buy it in bulk from Amazon. I found other brands in aluminum cans at my neighborhood grocery store as well. So my challenge to you today is to take a closer look at your own plastic consumption and consider where you can ditch single-use plastic to be more sustainable. Because the future, my friends, is not in plastic.